I forgot how dripped out my warlock and hunter were. Like this one, like it's not hard to make a warlock look good, but I think I kind of hit the nail on the head there. And then the hunter is just emo. It's been some time since I've had literally anything on my channel. So I figured I need to get more content and I need to build up more for my portfolio. Because I am trying to do video editing for people, and that's kind of hard to do when my YouTube channel has stuff from like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and that's it. So I figured I might as well delve into a couple of my personal stories because I thought that they'd be kind of goofy. Okay, so I figured that the funniest thing that I could potentially start out with would be my security alligator story. And the security alligator story is something that goes way back. We're talking like, I think 5th grade? Was it really back then? Jesus Christ, I am old. But yeah, it was 5th grade. I was in kind of like a police athletic league, so a PAL for short. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just like police community outreach that like has like clubs and things like that. I really only did it because my parents needed a reason to get me out of the house. So I was in like some robotics type stuff. It was pretty neat. It was pretty fun. I was able to make some friends. I was able to kind of like basically see a lot of places around the country. Like I went to New Orleans, I went to Atlanta, I went to the Naval Academy because we did something called Sea Perch. And Sea Perch was like an underwater robotics program that was like sponsored by the Navy. It was really cool because you were able to just kind of build this little robot out of PVC pipe. And effectively you had like this little remote control. You had to solder yourself, you had to make yourself, and it was physically wired to the robot, which means you could only go out so far. And then you were in a like swimming pool. Well, you yourself weren't, but the robot was in a swimming pool. The robot was in a swimming pool and you had to complete certain challenges within it. So there was like a challenge mode, and then there was like an obstacle course that you could do. It was very neat because it's like it was different every year. So until you started building your robot, you didn't really know what the challenge was going to be. And we were good at it because there were a lot of people that just kind of stuck with the stock model as opposed to actually making something unique. So we were making our own robots and we were making them to be specific to the challenge. And we trained relentlessly. Like we trained a whole lot to get that stuff done. Because we were some of the goats of Sea Perch. I'm not here to talk about Sea Perch today though. I'm here to talk about something called a mud run. And mud runs are basically what they sound like. A bunch of people going through like an obstacle course that is just kind of like inherently very muddy and dirty. I was not a participant of it, but I was a volunteer to work it. I only kind of did it because my best friend at the time was, and his mom made him go, so I figured it'd be fun to just kind of do it as like a thing together. So I'm doing that. I have my objective where I just kind of have to sit in like a single location for a few hours and just tell people that they have to go a certain way. Not exactly the most enriching thing for a 5th grade me, but honestly, like, I did my job pretty well. I thought I was pretty good at it. But before that, there was kind of like a meet and greet with everybody, where everybody was over at kind of like the start, and I was just kind of like walking around, making a little banner with people, just being like, hey, good luck, have fun, enjoy the run, stuff like that, as you do as a 5th grader. And I think as like an offhand thing, as like a joke, I said something along the lines of watch out for the security alligator to like one of the random runners. And they took interest to that for some reason. Now, I said it 100% as a joke. And I said it in a way that like if you had heard it yourself, you would have been like, "Oh yeah, they're just saying it for the bit." But this person was actually kind of interested in it. She was like I think she was in her like mid to late 20s, maybe like early 30s. But I was explaining to her, because I was explaining the bit a little more, to basically say that this alligator was taken from the Everglades, not only taken, but helicoptered over. So just like imagine those videos of people that are like carrying rhinos or horses on a helicopter with like that big rope, and just imagine that with like an alligator. And that's kind of the vibe that I was explaining. And the only reason that we had it, quote unquote, was to keep the geese away. Now, this particular place This particular mud run location was also the PAL's bike paths. So if you weren't using it for the mud run, you were using it on like quads and bikes and stuff like that. So anyone on those paths would tell you that the geese are absolute nuisances. Like they'll come in packs. They'll come in, what's the term? Like, what's the plural? Like, gaggle? Yeah, they'll come in gaggles, and they will absolutely just take over part of the tracks where you just have to go around them and find a detour. If you try and go through them, you will get attacked, and I have seen people with geese injuries. I ended up basically using that as the excuse, and honestly, like, it'd be believable enough. Like, I wasn't trying to be believable. I was just trying to see how far I could take a bit. And this person was falling for it. I thought it was kind of goofy, so I just kind of kept going with it. I said something along the lines of like, oh, don't worry, we left it in the bathroom to make sure that people don't get hurt by it. But then the wildest part happens. So there's this guy that comes up behind me, one of the other people working the run. This dude's like, he looks like Santa. He looks like Santa. Like, he had the beard, he had the rosy cheeks, and he looked to be kind of like in his 70s or so. And he let me know, like, oh, hey, the alligator's not in the bathroom. I said, what do you mean the alligator's not in the bathroom? He said, we looked back there and it's not back there. So I just kind of turned to her and I said, well, good luck with the race. If you see him, let us know. So I think I scared this lady, because when I start walking away, I hear her talk to who I assume was like her mother or her grandmother, because she was talked over to like an older lady. And she says with a completely straight face, did you know there's a security alligator? And in my mind, I am laughing my ass off. Like, there's no way that this absolute deranged story was being believed by somebody. But apparently, it was being believed by more than just one person. Because about a year later, when I was in the Baton Rouge Sea Perch Nationals, I was in a college dorm and I was talking with the best friend that I was working with at the mud run, and I told him the security alligator story, and he said, bro, that was you? And I said, yeah, that was me. I was like, how do you know about it? He said that there was a little kid that came up to him crying, like actually crying and in tears, and he didn't know why until the kid asked, would he, like, unironically blubbering, I think he was like 6 or 7. The kid was just crying and asking, where's the security alligator? Where's the security alligator? So my friend had to explain to this kid that there was no security alligator. Quick correction, this is Brandon from the future. Brandon from the past tells lies. It was more than just a kid. It was more than just one kid that my friend had to tell there was no security alligator. It was multiple people. He was just, the kid was the one that stuck in my mind the most because he had the biggest reaction, but apparently there were multiple people that came up to him and asked him about the security alligator. And I thought it was the goofiest thing because it meant that this post that my 5th grade brain concocted was spreading across this mud run, and people were actually getting scared by it. But that is the story of the security alligator that I had accidentally caused a bit of a panic at my local mud run. I didn't see her again. I didn't see the kid. I have no idea how it spread. I just know that it did. I just know that it affected my friend. But yeah, that is really about it. I want to upload a couple more of these stories. I'm putting this on YouTube, which means I'm legally obligated to say that you have to like and subscribe. I'm playing Destiny 2. Who's even watching that anymore? I've seen the view counts on all the Destiny YouTubers, and it is low. And honestly, I don't blame them. Star Wars is fun. Renegades is fun. It's great. I've been having a blast, but also like I've been doing literally anything else. Not at any fault of Bungie's right now, but like I've been busy. I just got out of school. I'm looking at work. So if anyone needs video editing work, hit me up. I've got a lot more free time on my hands.